Okay, we are live. I'm just gonna adjust that. Alright everyone, we're doing Pokemon Crystal this week. I know I haven't made a schedule, but that's because I'm on vacation and I've just been lazy, but the show must go on, you know? But anyway, today we're going to be doing Pokemon Crystal with Tyranitar. We'll be doing Dragonite later in the week. I might try and get out a video for Friday. I'll try. But anyway, Tyranitar is a general very good Pokemon, but if you looked at the stats in the move pool, our moveset isn't exactly the best by level up. We get some great stab options, but sadly we start with Bite, and our stab dark coverage will not utilize our better attacking stat. My controller took a while to turn back on. Also, well, hello, Dominic, Santiago, Reiji, Axu, N1. N1, how come you said, what the F was that? I don't see your message in the YouTube chat, but I saw you typed it. You want to clarify on that? Will Tyranitar stomp and tear through the game, or will it get punched in the face and explode? I mean, I think one of the hardest parts is going to be Chuck and then Bruno, but we're actually going to take a quick sneak peek at Scott's run. Alright, we're just gonna... I know Dragonite is in here too. This video is from 2024. But I'm just gonna see where the problem sections are. You were forced out of the old stream into a new one? Wait, what? Oh my god, you're... Wait, what? Hold on. Wait, what? I didn't do that. It says I've been live for 14 minutes. YouTube just booted me. Okay, that was weird. I've never seen YouTube do that before. The only time I've ever seen YouTube do that was when, I don't know, I was hearing copyrighted material or something. I guess I'll just edit the thumbnail for this really quick. Okay, now I've got the new chat up. There we go. I remember T-Tar being more of a flying type than Dragonite. Yeah, speaking of which, we're going to be using Hidden Power Flying, because from what I remember, we really need Hidden Power Flying for Chuck, and for Bruno. We're going to take a quick look at what Scott did.
Format. Instead, we are just going to look at the best playthroughs that split of 8 minutes and 49 seconds. This is where, for the sake of contrast, we should switch back to Tyranitar to see how awful its early game is. First of all, the rival's going to be picking Chikorita. That's going to cause a lot of problems in Azalea Town. Second, Birdkeeper Ape isn't a problem.
At least I don't have to worry about that because of my rule set with the starters.
Baby loves to spam Mudslap. Luckily with Bite, I'm able to two-shot. Although starting with Bite is a bit unfortunate because it's a special move in Generation 2. My path to victory here is the same that I used with Pupitar, setting up Sandstorm against the Pidgeotto, relying on chip damage, as well as getting lucky with Bite. If I hit just once with Bite, I can re-establish Sandstorm, and this knocks Pidgeotto out. That's the difference between Tyranitar and its earlier evolutions, because I needed to hit multiple bites in order to win with them. I also did this on minimum battles, but I did get taken all the way to -6 accuracy. Just in general, a really messy and frustrating fight. It is possible for Tyranitar to lose here, by the way. And if you go back and watch my stream, you're going to see a lot of the issues that I faced in the early game. Some of them include getting poisoned over and over and over and over again in the routes surrounding Azalea Town. Genuinely, I was flabbergasted with the number of times this status condition was inflicted. It's not really a problem. I can just open my bag and use a healing item, but when I'm shooting for the best possible time, any small loss like this really does stack up, especially in the frustration that I feel. Now, to get really ridiculous with Tyranitar, it doesn't learn the move Swift from Moon and Cave.
What do you mean last time I ran Tyranitar? What game was
completely
this?
Useless. What I want to draw your attention to is this Lady Buff. Yes, we're talking about a Lady Buff. In my stream, it defeated Tyranitar. This is probably one of the most ridiculous losses I have had in a solo challenger this year. Also, of course, I didn't save in front of the Lady Buff trainer. Why would I do that with a Tyranitar? I don't know what to say about this one. This is a bad loss. I can't believe this even happened. Okay, so moving on to Bugsy. There are problems for Tyranitar here. As a dark type, it takes double damage from Fury Cutter, which is bad. Unfortunately, the rock type does not resist
over and over and over
very
again. Sounds funny sped up.
Kakuna gives me a chance to set up Sandstorm and then knock it out. The problem here is if the Kakuna uses Poison Sting and poisons Tyranitar, then I'm not gonna have enough health to survive the Scyther's attacks. But we don't really get to see that here because Fury Cutter misses early into the battle and then he chooses Quick Attack, which makes no sense. So Tyranitar appears to have an easy victory here. But
so we're going to want to utilize Sandstorm for the early fights.
And like I said before, during the Dragonite section of the early game, Bugsy is usually not the most difficult trainer in Azalea Town. The most difficult trainer here is the rival in his Bayleaf, which has Razor Leaf. It's super effective. It has a high critical hit ratio, and it also gets the same type of attack bonus. Plus, in contrast with a Pokemon like Croconaw, which has Water Gun, a base 40 power move, Razor Leaf has a base power of 55. Now, you might argue that for fairness, I should be going up against the Croconaw team with both of these Pokemon, or the Bayleaf team with both of these Pokemon, but I always try to pair the Pokemon against what I think the developers would have done, and if there are two possible options, I go up against the harder of the two. In this case, Bayleaf. One thing on Tyranitar's side during this fight is that it doesn't have to rely on weird strategies like both Larvitar and Pupitar did. Mud Slap to lower accuracy, then Sandstorm for chip damage, Bite to hopefully flinch. In this case, it can just attack. Bayleaf is usually going to waste its first turn with Growl, Reflect, or Poison Powder.
But I think there does get to a point where Tyranitar just cruises.
Special attack, and it has much more speed. And unlike Dragonite, Tyranitar does not get access to agility, so it has no way to make up for its lowest stat. But Whitney is next, and defeating her is going to give me a speed boost. That's it. First, I'm going to teach Tyranitar two new moves: Dig from the National Park and Fury Cutter from Bugsy. Now I'm ready to take on the normal type specialist.
Yeah, Axe, you mentioned Fury Cutter.
It feels like Whitney is really trying to teach the player about Fury Cutter and
we need a Poison Cure Berry.
And just
honestly,
like Larvitar
probably.
and Pupitar,
I know where I can get one too.
Learn
There's one by Mr.
Fury
Pokemon's
Cutter
house.
is my best damage.
Alright, so I'm gonna skip ahead to... Yeah, he's getting Hidden Power, doing Price. He's saving Chuck as the 5th gym.
Slide to one-shot the Seal as well as the Dugong, but the Piloswine comes in second. I go for Fire Punch, it does more than half. Piloswine misses Blizzard, typical Price, and as a result I win.
Meant for
okay,
Bugsy.
With that out of the way, now let's roll the intro and see how Chuck went. You know how I said Chuck's consistent? Yeah, check this out. Hidden Power one-shots the Primeape. Poliwrath is next. I go for Hidden Power. It does way more than half. Poliwrath lands Dynamic Punch and gets the one-shot. Remember, that is around a 12% chance. Okay, next battle. One-shot the Primeape. Poliwrath comes in. Hidden...
Yeah, and Fire Punch for Jasmine. Makes sense. Man, he got to the league at such a low level.
I'm a Dark type. He's a Psychic type specialist. His Executor has no damage dealing grass type moves, and his Slowbro has no damage dealing water type moves. Leech Seed is annoying, it plays an animation wasting time, but that's really the only thing that's going on here. I mostly just sweep with Rock Slide. Against Koga, Hidden Power Flying is still useful, as well as Rock Slide, and now Earthquake, which I picked up
The
in
main disadvantage with Hidden Power Flying is you have to run 12 attack DVs and 13 defense, so it's pretty bad.
I think it will be useful in later games in the series, like maybe Fire Red if I ever do that game with Tyranitar. After depleting my Arcanine,
we'll take a look at Claire, actually. We'll be able to hold Sharp because of my rule set.
Tyranitar. I'm going to put the damage ranges up on the left-hand side of the screen and sort of pop out the window so that you can see the game on the other.
120%, 200%, 151%. Okay, so the Sharpbeak only really matters from Machamp at level 50. But I think a little loophole we could do is maybe go for a headbutt flinch. Because we can't really... Or we could aim for a cross-chop miss, but I'm not sure how feasible that is. And if you're wondering why I can't use the Sharpbeak, I banned myself from changing the days of the week during the run because I feel like it's just very exploitive and I don't like playing the game that way. So I have to just choose one day. And if I choose to get Sharpbeak, I'll have to skip return, which I'm not sure is a good idea. And actually, Generation 2 does Generation 2 allow Rock Slide to flinch? I think so. Yeah, I think it was Generation 2 that added the flinch chance. So maybe what we would have to do is Rock Slide, hope for a flinch, or a cross-chop miss. That's probably what we'll have to do.
With Hidden Power Flying, I one-shot all three.
Yeah, you can only get return on Sundays.
I one-shot the Onyx.
Alright, I think I'm just going to head straight to red.
6 resets, 0 blackouts at level 64.
Ooh, curse
this is a game
agility,
time
nice.
of 4 hours and 37 minutes. Dragonite's former time was 1 hour 24 minutes and 44 seconds. So this is 10 minutes faster, a major improvement, and I also think it's much more consistent. Although Red is still a little bit wonky because the Pikachu can get you, it's not nearly as reliable at just completely destroying you as the Blastoise is. I think overall I got pretty unlucky here with Dragonite. I'm still very happy with these final results. But before re-ranking Dragonite in the tier list, let's see how Tyranitar does in the late game. Earthquake,
here we
and
go.
that's that. Time for Tyranitar to face Red. As I did with Dragonite, let's reflect on what my previous strategy was. And honestly, it was just really bad. I kept having problems against the Espeon, which would use Mud Slap and lower my accuracy. With my current understanding of the game, this is absolutely hilarious, because I have to knock out both the Venusaur and the Blastoise first before Espeon comes in. The reason for this is Red is choosing which Pokemon he sends out based on type effectiveness alone. So he sees that Venusaur has grass moves which are super effective against rock Pokemon, and he sends it in. He's holding the Espeon back, which does have Mud Slap, which is technically super effective, but he's holding it back because it's weak to dark type moves. That's why Blastoise comes in first, and then I get to the Espeon and it uses Mud Slap, and I basically just accepted the fact that this fight was not consistent. But that is just not the case. This fight definitely is consistent, if I don't make another player mistake. The first turn is a disaster. I forget to use Protect. Pikachu is faster than Tyranitar, so it uses Charm, lowering my attack, and then I can't one-hit using Rock Slide. Whoops, time to reset. If I use Protect, then I block Charm, Pikachu's gonna use Thunder, doing about a third, and if I don't get paralyzed, then I'm gonna one-shot and move on to the Venusaur. This is where my modern understanding comes in to help Tyranitar. With Protect and the fact that Venusaur is spamming Solar Beam, I can alternate back and forth with Curse and the defensive move, set up completely, and then sweep the remainder of Red's team. I only need to go to +5 in order to pull this off, then Rock Slide one-shot the Venusaur, Blastoise comes in next. Because I'm at full health, it sets up Rain Dance instead of attacking, and I one-shot with Rock Slide. Now yes, Espeon can use Mud Slap, but since I'm at full health, it's gonna prioritize Reflect, and Rock Slide still one-shots. Snorlax is next. Because of Reflect, it's gonna survive, use Rest, waste my time, and then after 2 Rock Slides, it goes down. Hilariously, I wasted a little bit of time saying no to Earthquake before the Charizard comes in. The fastest play here is actually just spamming A and teaching Earthquake over Protect in my first slot. I should have done that. Anyways, the Flaming Lizard is last, I use Rock Slide, and of course, it goes down. I cannot believe this. It feels like...
Okay, I have an interesting idea. Here's the thing. With same type attack bonus, Rock Slide is straight up better than Return. Do you guys think it'll be a good idea to just not get Return at all and just hold on to Headbutt in its place, and that way we can get the Sharp Beak? Like, what do you guys think about that? Like, we would have to get some PP ups for Rock Slide, and then we'll have Dig into Earthquake for massive damage. I don't really think this thing truly needs Return. I feel like it's a noob trap. I mean, obviously, if you can get any day of the week item any day, then obviously that wouldn't really matter. Can't you learn Rock Smash? Yeah, we do, but it's 20 power. That may as well not exist. Anyway, I think we will play on that day of the week. I believe it's Thursdays. I think Thursdays give the Sharp Beak, correct? I'll just double check. Let's see, Wednesday, let's see. Sharp Beak is Monday. Oh yes, yeah, we're gonna play on Monday. Anyway, let's go ahead and make an over-under for this run. I mean, Scott finished at a time of 110, but obviously he and I played by different rule sets. So I think for my first playthrough, I think an over-under of like 120 to 122 seems appropriate. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. At least with all the Crystal backports I've been doing, my skill at Crystal has improved tremendously. Also, speaking of the Crystal backports, Mega Beedrill will be this Saturday. We had to take a 2-week break from it because the first week Steve was on vacation, and last Saturday I was on vacation, and I still am. But this coming Saturday we'll both be done with them. Alright, so what punches do we get? Fire Punch. Just Fire Punch. Okay. But yeah, I think the only TMs we really need are Headbutt, Curse, Protect. and dig into Earthquake. I know Axew was considering, when I asked him earlier, if we should... He thought we could probably use Roar on Red, but I don't think that's truly necessary. I think Protect and Curse will be enough. Anyway, why don't we go ahead and get started? I am recording a root file as well, so we can look back on it later. Alright. So I gotta remember, we're starting on Monday. 3, 2, 1, go. Hold on, dude. I didn't set my options. I'm so used to not doing that. Okay, take 2. Go. Alright, Monday, 5 p.m. This is so that way for a cut user, we could find Sentret. Man, I missed the instant text speed. Whoops. Oh my god. Yeah, it's funny. We have Leer and Screech, but no physical moves. Alright, so right by this house, there is a Poison Cure Berry. Let's get this for Bugsy. Just in case the Kakuna poisons. Yes, officer. Ike the Killer stole the grass type. Or no, he stole the fire type, because Ike loves fire types. I mean, how would it be used on Rival 2, though? Nothing on Rival 2's Cyndaquil. Yeah, fortunately, I don't have to face Bayleaf today. Yeah, I should have... Oh, dude! Oh my god. That's a really bad execution. Alright, I know Scott went to Faulkner at minimum battles. I don't want to do that. I'm gonna fight that one Rattata youngster first. Because the thing is, I don't want to start over countless playthrough attempts just to get a run where I can beat Faulkner at minimum battles. I'm not that kind of person. Hey, Kiwi. Hey, Scott. We totally were not watching your Tyranitar Dragonite video for notes. We definitely weren't doing that. Don't make Leddyba more difficult than it already is. Oh, were you supposed to be playing Leddyba? Okay, sorry guys, I'm gonna have to end the stream now. Apparently Scott thinks he's important and he doesn't want me to interrupt his Leddyba playthrough. Okay, at least I didn't accidentally turn on Pokerus again. I I remember last time I tried to play Crystal, Steve's overlay was still working in another tab. I died to Lediba with Tyranitar. Oh. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty funny. Alright, I'm gonna save here. Happens to the best of us. Yeah, I've had way worse deaths. Wow, great start. Uh-oh. Okay, we're good. That wasn't that bad. I think the key is wait till you're on the Pidgeotto to use Sandstorm. So I think if you use it on Pidgey, the Sandstorm goes away too soon. Also, hey Scott, how's it been? I'm also doing Dragonite this week too. I may or may not have decided to copy you. I mean, it's the two pseudo-legendaries. Why wouldn't I give them a try? Eh. Didn't you do Lediba? I've done Spinarak. I have not done Lediba. Came back from a wedding, I'm pretty tired. Gee. Okay. Hiker Anthony probably would have killed me if he had saw me. Oh, Scott, you're free to use that trick. Steve and I call it the speed center. When you're on your way to Kurt, go one step into the center and then continue your way to Kurt. It's just in case any of these random rocket grunts decide to kill you. If that happens, you won't teleport back to Violet. We've actually started doing that in some of our backport races. Because it happened to quite a few of us. It happened to me, it happened to Steve. Like, we just went all the way back to Violet. Because we're running very powerful Mega Pokemon. We don't need to heal at the center. But if you just take one step, that'll set your teleport point just in case. Yeah, you're free to use that, by the way. At least my poison luck seems to be pretty good. I saw you were getting poisoned constantly. Matters though, Kurt's gonna heal me. Hey, Lediba person, you gonna kill me today? Oh guys, I've been scary faced and string shot. Nope, not today. I clicked off my emulator and went to OBS for a second, and that's what caused it to slow down. Super Shucky does that. Like, if Super Shucky's behind another window, it slows down. I don't know why. Only when it's behind something. Alright, so we'll see how well this Poison Cure Berry works here. Because remember, N1, this was your idea. Didn't even help. Okay. Honestly, that might have been a waste of time. Well, actually, the Poison Cure Berry might still help. I might have to use Sandstorm on the Kakuna, because that thing barely lived. I was really hoping the berry would be used. Just so I could say, hey, look how useful it was, and I just get a crit anyway. Awesome. Why even bother preparing things, you know? We can just get lucky crits. Alright, we're going to be using Dig for quite a while, so I'm not going to really buy many escape ropes, so I think just 3 escape ropes. Alright, I'm not going to bother saving. If I die, then I'll just warp back to the center here. Really? Okay, we're good. I mean, I'm not really going to be fighting any trainers from here to Goldenrod, so no need to bother healing. I wonder if the charcoal's going to be worth it. Nah, we're not going to be using Fire Punch much. At least he didn't use Smoke Screen. That was actually perfect. Alright, so Headbutt. We're going to be holding on to this move for probably most of the run. I'm playing on Monday so I can get the Sharp Beak, so we're not going to be getting Return. Oh, look, on Monday, apparently those people aren't down here. Oh, Abra. Do not forget Abra. This guy always sees me. He's sorry I couldn't see the Erica last stream. The snow shoveling killed me yesterday, so I fell asleep at 7:15. That's fine. You don't have to show up to every stream. The VODs are always there. I'm not buying Pokopia. That game just freaks me out. Oh, Quick Claw. This might be our generic held item for a bunch of the run, too. Yeah, it's not a pricing thing for me either, because even if the game was 20 bucks, I still wouldn't buy it. The game just freaks me out. Alright, I'm going to teach Dig in the place of Sandstorm. Might be necessary for more consistent Morty. Pretty much. Plus, with how low our speed is, 61 speed is awful. It's awful for a slow level up group as well. Sacred. Oh my. Well, well then, Whitney. Metronome Sacred Fire. Nuts. That was pretty risky. I think I should have just done one Screech. I remember some very old speedrunning clips from Worcester, where when he was speedrunning Pokemon Gold, that Whitney Clefairy trolled him so hard. There was a Metronome Sacred Fire, there was a Metronome Transform. It was awesome. It was hilarious. Yeah, he believed that Clefairy believed that it was Ho-Oh or Entei from Generation 9. I mean, if it's a good game, let me know, but I don't plan on buying it. Okay, thankfully that... I mean, even if it was Hypnosis, we can't get hit with Dream Eater, so there's no risk there. Gen 9 Entei. Maybe it wasn't Gen 9 specifically, but at some point, they randomly just gave Entei the ability to learn Sacred Fire. Don't know why. Also, I know we're going to need Hidden Power Flying for Chuck anyway, but since we're going to be going to fight Price first before Chuck, I don't think there's any point in going there right away before Morty. Morty is essentially risk-free with this Pokemon. From what Axew has informed me, Morty will not go for Hypnosis on a Dark type. So it's probably just going to spam Shadow Ball. It was in Gen 6, and that was because Entei was awful. Yeah, I've played Entei in Fire and Leaf Green, and I think that was about it. I never did in Heart Gold. But yeah, Entei in Generation 3 was awful. Oh, Gen 2. I played in Gen 2 as well. In both gens, it was awful. Alright, we're not going to outspeed the Haunter, though. Why 2 resets? One was to Whitney, and one was to... Bugsy. Oh, interesting. It actually didn't go for Curse. That is weird. I mean, I'll take it. Rock Slide. Yes, please. I mean, Screech, it was nice having you, but I gotta have room for 4 moves. Oh, shoot, I just realized I forgot Fire Punch. We really don't need Fire Punch till Jasmine. I can just fly back for it later. Maybe while grabbing the candy there as well. Yeah, normally when I get Fly, I like to go around and get the rare candies. The ones in Violet and Goldenrod. So I can probably just combine it with that. I'm not saving. I think there's almost no risk with Morty. Oh no, not my special defense. Yeah, I think you need at least 53 speed to outspeed everything but Gengar. Yep, at least 53. Yeah, at least 49 to outspeed the curse users, yeah. Alright, I'm actually going to set this place as my teleport point. Alright, and for a move to not knock out the Krabby, I think Headbutt will do just fine. Oh, barely. Yeah, anyway, I'm going to try and keep Olivine as my center point, because after this, I'm going to be biking back up north and heading to Mahogany. Yeah, I probably could have done a better job avoiding that guy. But at least he gives good XP. Yeah, that's the disadvantage with fighting the girl on the right. If you're gonna backtrack, you have to fight this guy. Nice. What do you mean I didn't have... Alright, so since I don't have Fly, I gotta walk over here. Alright, I better save here. This Gyarados can be kind of scary. Okay, he threw the fight. Dragon Claw does not exist in Generation 2. That move was introduced in Generation 3. I'm hoping not to do a second run today just because Crystal's a longer game. But I know about teleports. I have my teleport set to Olivine City. Because as soon as I beat Price, I'm teleporting straight to Olivine. So it may have looked annoying that I had to do manual backtracking to Mahogany. Trust me, it'll be worth it. Also, for the last few days, I've been using an app on my phone called the Rare Candy app to like log my entire card collection and even like sort them into sets and stuff. I have giant binders back there, each of them containing like 3 Scarlet and Violet era sets that are like 85 to 92% complete, and it takes a long time to scan binders. Very time consuming. But today, though, in about like 3.5 hours, I scanned an entire binder. In the previous couple of days, I did 2 other binders. So I'm hoping over the next 2 days I can get done my last 2 Scarlet and Violet era binders, and then I can go to my other eras for the TCG, which don't have nearly as many binders. Like, for example, it takes me 5 binders to store all my Scarlet and Violet era cards, but it only takes me 2 binders for my Sword and Shield era. 2 binders for Black and White, 2 for the X and Y era, 2 for Sun and Moon, and I have 1 binder for essentially the entire Wizards of the Coast era. So it'll be a lot quicker. Because it's actually been quite nice seeing the real value of my collection go up. It's been quite nice. The reason I didn't want to teach Thrash is just because Headbutt is just so much better with the flinch chance. Hey, Shadow. T-Tar doing well? It's doing okay so far. I had a reset on Whitney's Clefairy due to Sacred Fire. I mean, we did do a slight bit of research, and we're actually going to be fighting Price before Chuck. I have my last teleport location in Olivine, so as soon as I beat him, I can teleport back. You've got to be kidding. Alright, I might want to use an Aetheron Rock Slide. I mean, I don't really have any restriction on like when members can request. I'll probably give it at least a few months or so. Like in between run requests for members. I think it'll just depend if I think enough time has passed. There we go. Hello, Monica. Dang it. Wait, where's hidden power? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh my god. Why did no one tell me that I didn't pick up hidden power? Oh, dude, this is gonna cost a lot of time. Honestly, I probably should have... Oh my god. I literally picked up the rare candy, but I didn't pick up hidden power. I assumed you got it. I assumed I did too. You know, I think I know what happened. In my, Mega Evolution backport runs, I never get hidden power. I haven't picked up hidden power in Crystal in months. That's probably what happened. Well, that just wasted over a minute. But, you know what? We're gonna first try Chuck. No. I don't think any of our backport megas even used hidden power. There might have been a run where I contemplated it, but I remember for second playthroughs, no. Watch, we're gonna first try Chuck. That was a crit. This Gen 2 gym has no Gen 2 Pokemon, right? To be fair, like back when Gold and Silver came out, they expected these to be the last ever games, so instead of it being viewed as another region, they instead have viewed it as a sequel, like an expansion. That's how it was viewed. Also, that thing just got 2 dynamic punch crits. I mean, Shadow, if you end up becoming decently good at them, we could have you join us one of these days. I mean, you don't have to get to, like, on our levels, but, like, probably at the point where you don't need to, like, use a walkthrough or something. You pretty much know the basics. Fire Punch, thank you for the reminder. Okay, honestly, could we get rid of Dig? Yes. I think the only reason we can afford to get rid of Dig is because we're going to get access to Earthquake pretty soon, and we can just use Fire Punch on the Magnemites. Man, I'm definitely rusty at Crystal right now. What happens when you don't do a backport every week? I'm probably going to Rock Slide the fully evolved Pokemon and headbutt the first stages. It's only been 2 weeks. Alright, I'm probably going to save the Rock Slides for the Petrol fight. Oh yeah, they are pretty fun. Yeah, I know Hidden Power Flying is as strong as Headbutt, but the flinches help. Oh man. Actually, I think Hidden Power Flying is stronger than Headbutt. Okay. Could you all blow yourselves up, please? Two for flinching. I mean, what's the joke from? Yeah, besides that very, very big mistake with forgetting to get Hidden Power, the run's going pretty good. Besides that one mistake. Regular show? I don't remember that episode. I remember Punchies. And I know my boy Gym Leader Matt's a huge regular show fan. You don't remember that joke? Yeah, it must have been from an episode I don't remember. I still need to finish watching the series. I was very pissed off when HBO removed a regular show off of their network. And I couldn't find another way to watch it. Well, a legitimate way. Rigby's brother and Paul share the same voice actor? I think I can vaguely see that. Give me some sugar. Well, the other question is, do they have not ads? Do they actually have all the episodes? Because something that some streaming platforms really do that pisses me off is by having some of the episodes, but not others. I don't know if it's because of licensing disputes or what, but like I remember on Paramount, I really wanted to rewatch or actually completely watch Drake and Josh because I had younger. I only really seen like maybe 20 episodes at most, but Paramount was missing like the first 6 episodes. And I think like I saw a video that mentioned that only 60% of all the episodes were on there. The other 40% were just straight up gone. Like, why did they freaking do that? It's ridiculous. How Infinity Train, how bad is that? I mean, we all say that, but we still pay for them. So is it really a scam if we're paying for them? Yeah, it irritates me too. I'm still smooth at the boulder puzzle though. Why'd you show up to give me watch hours? Uh-oh. I think the last time I had a troll in my chat, I just straight up insulted him. It was funny. Nice. Really? Didn't expect it to survive Headbutt followed by Rock Slide. I mean, pretty lucky. Violence. I forgot how much Tyranitar aided you at the beginning. Return still doesn't have 90 base power. Does Tyranitar start at 0 friendship? No, it doesn't. The reason its return power is low is because of the slow level up group. At least I didn't forget Dratini. That's arguably worse. Alright, so I'm gonna need to get most of the candies. I'm gonna skip the Whirl Islands candy, because I do not know my way through that place. Forgetting Dratini is a crime. Should be. Alright, that's all of them. Yeah. Yeah, the only ones in Johto you really have to go out of your way for are Mount Mortar and Whirl Islands candy. And in our backports, the Tin Tower candy. Alright, so I remember from Scott's video, he fought the Machamp on Bruno's team at level 50. So I think we'll just save some candies for Bruno. Alright, I'm gonna be deleting... Actually, no. I was gonna say delete Fire Punch for Earthquake, but I think we should wait till after Koga to do that. Those Red Blastoise goes well. I don't think Red's Blastoise will be a problem. Because the plan is to set up Curse and Rest on the Venusaur alongside Protect, and if we arrive at the Blastoise at full HP, it will go for Rain Dance. Wrong move. Oh no, Fire Punch disabled. I remember learning the original saying was all the professors were not named after plants, but after trees. Alright, I'm not going to save here. Nice crit. Dude, I outsped that by 1. Alright, so I think I'll use the 4 candies now, because I'm going to end up wasting experience on Koga. There's no way Koga's giving me a level. Crunch? No. Yeah, Koga's not going to give me a full level, and that'll have been wasted XP. Alright, so at level 50 with the Sharpbeak, the Machamp is a range. But it should be favorable. So I think without the Sharpbeak, we're probably never going to kill the Machamp unless we used more candies. Nice. I like Kukui, he's based. Who is considered the Bruno for this game? Price. Also, using the HP up at the start, if you're not at full HP, Karen's Umbreon is actually less likely to go for a turn 1 sand attack. Snowy did some testing, it goes from 90% down to 66%. Still likely, but not as much. And there's a free HP up in Victory Road. It always ends up screwing with me whenever I go for the strat and it doesn't work, but when it does work, I'm proud I did it. The Juggler. No, Will is not that bad. I know Snowy makes fun of Will, but Will is not that bad. I'd say he's like, if for a Gen 1 comparison, probably Koga in Red and Blue. Like, Koga in Red and Blue is a joke most of the time, but with some Pokemon he's hard. Rock Slide. Did you see that? He just flinched me. How dare he? 54-minute Lance Split. That's not really a good Lance time. This is still great by most Pokemon standards, but Tyranitar certainly could have done better. I was supposed to reset using the Super Shucky menu, because I want to reset through the credits without adding to my reset counter. That's fine, I can manually adjust the numbers. Dang it. I was so close to avoiding him. Alright, so for the Kanto gyms, we're definitely going to want to save Erica and Misty for last. Yeah, and I think at this point, it's just like riding a bike. I literally cannot forget how to do it. Alright, Sabrina is absolutely free. None of her Pokemon can hit Dark types. The Espeon with Swift is the only one that could. Can certainly be annoying, though. Cruncher? Well, I don't have Crunch. I'm probably looking back at this, I probably should have deleted Headbutt for Crunch. Yeah, I probably should have. Alright, so after we do these trainers, who would be the next gym leader? Probably Surge and then straight to Brock. And then the 7th gym leader, or the 6th one will be Erica, the 7th one will be Misty, then we'll do Blue. When will be the next gym leader wannabe? You mean Janine? After Blaine. I always fight Janine after Blaine. I don't think I had a repel up. Hey, nice I avoided encounters though. I would disagree on this being a good ZA song. The first 30 seconds are literally engraved in my head as a negative feeling because having to do those 1,000 battles and all you kept hearing were the first 20 seconds of the theme, it really drove you nuts. I think the regular trainer theme was better. You know, the one they saved for some people like Vinny. Not the Battle Royale themes that like most random people got, but like the actual XY remix. That one's the better one. Oh no, that wasn't this version. That was the generic Battle Royale trainer theme. Alright, I'm gonna need to use an elixir. Or an ether. That works too. Also, Pokemon Day is in just a little over 2 days away. I think, oh jeez. I think in my Discord server I'll probably ping people a day before the presents, and I'll tell people if they want to talk about it to go into the spoiler chat. Because there's a chance I might not be able to watch it right away, because that's the day I go back to work. And I have a 6 a.m. shift for my time, and those presents always start at 6 a.m. my time. They always do. There's a chance I might not be able to watch it for 2 hours. I mean, theoretically, I could just watch the highlights, but I don't want to do that. I want to watch the whole thing. Had to pick that day. I mean, I just requested the 9 days that I originally requested. I didn't think about that in advance. I mean, unless they're starting it later, but I know most Nintendo Directs always started at 6 a.m. for me. And the Pokemon one will probably be no different. It's going to be so hard, though, to actually find the Direct. I'd have to, like, go to the Pokemon YouTube channel, look for the Direct, and then I'll see, like, 20 other short little video clips of, like, separate games they announce and stuff. And I'm going to get spoiled by all those titles. Alright, I'm gonna need to buy Protect. What is it? Was that a Dire hit? Yeah, Janine uses Dire hits. Yeah, she's quite bad. What's other people talking about it on their channel? Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably tell people in my Discord that I think I'll make it the next 2 days. Yeah, for the next 48 hours, keep it in the spoiler chat to give people time to watch it. And then after that, I'd say it's fair game. Or maybe just the day of. I'll probably do day of than the next day. Oh no, not amnesia. And one shadow. We need Gwag Haze. Alright, let's see. I've got Curse. I got Protect. I've got Rest. Alright, yep. We're pretty much all good for red. Fury attack. Good one, Blue. Good one. I was actually kind of worried that wouldn't kill the Gyarados. Nice crit. Oh, you gotta be kidding. Okay, we're good. At least that was the last one. Oh, you can't? Got unlucky with the gifts? Oh, right, you can't. My bad. I mistook your mod badge for an actual gym badge. Alright, there is one last rare candy I'm gonna go get. Alright, Repel faded. Now I'm gonna do my menuing. Alright. Teach Curse in the place of Hidden Power. Protect in the place of Headbutt. And then Rest in the place of Earthquake. Leftovers. You know what's funny? I told Steve and Ike the day that we go back to using normal held items, we're gonna forget leftovers even exist. And it did indeed happen. Yeah, it's not too bad to forget. Nice Thunder Miss. Alright, so here's the plan. Go Curse. It'll charge up Solar Beam every single time. I forgot to use candies. Surely we don't need the candies, right? Reflect. Alright, Reflect, go away. Okay. No burn. 111.34. Dude, I used none of my candies. Well, I used four of them for Bruno. 4:35 game time. Killer, it took a lot of practice. You should have seen me earlier with Rock Tunnel. At least Abra saved you. Yep, thankfully Abra's easy to get in this game. 111, that's really good. Hold on. What did Scott get in his Tyranitar playthrough? I swore he got like a 110.
Waste my time, and then after 2 rock slides, it goes down. Hilariously, I waste a little bit of time saying no to Earthquake before the Charizard comes in. The fastest play here is actually just
barely
spamming
slower.
A and teaching Earthquake over Protect in my first slot. I should
2
have
less
done
resets,
that.
too.
Anyways, the Flaming Lizard is last. I use Rock Slide, and of course, it goes down. I cannot believe
Doesn't look
this.
like he used
feels like
candies either for
Tyranitar
red.
swam upstream throughout this entire playthrough, and it clocks in with a final time of 1 hour, 10 minutes, and 54 seconds, with 6 resets, 0 blackouts at level 61, with a game time of 4 hours and 30 minutes.
Alright, the only reason he got a better game time was because of the early game no wild encounters. Oh yeah, if I did not waste over a minute for getting hidden power, I would have beaten Scott's Tyranitar time. I absolutely would have. And if you guys are wondering why I'm not going to do a second Tyranitar playthrough today, I have to record a playthrough for Dragonite tonight. Probably going to do it in the Discord server, so I don't really have time to do a second playthrough. But still, 111, that's very good. And here's the whole thing, despite that massive despite that massive waste of time with forgetting hidden power, 111's still very good. Let's put this on the leaderboard before we forget. I think the time that I lost in forgetting hidden power, I made up for it with overworld execution, getting a first try Bruno, first try Karen. Never really had any resets. First try red too. I mean, it's still good that Chuck only took 2 tries. Chuck could have gone a lot worse. 111's really solid. Hey, Scott. Didn't realize you were lurking. After right away, I'll probably give it like a half hour or so. Probably at 30 minutes. Yes, close. I mean, your Tyranitar run did have that mistake, like with the poison. And I think there was some other stuff that happened, but still, despite us doing runs differently, I got surprisingly close. And that wasn't like a 3-year-old run either. That was only in 2024. I think all those crystal backboards have been really paying off with practice. But anyway, if we take a look at the leaderboard, Tyranitar got 4th place overall. It did worse than Suicune, but I think if that whole hidden power mistake never happened, and if we got the same 2 tries on Chuck, this thing probably would have like a 110-20. It would not be able to beat Ursaring. It would not. And Kadabra is just so powerful. Still, that was really good. But anyway, thank you all for stopping by, everyone. I do appreciate it. Yeah, Scott, I just randomly rolled J-Rose's favorite Pokemon. You should play it. I did 2 playthroughs on stream. I think it was because the first playthrough I knew could have been better, and I knew this would be a god tier run. This Pokemon's incredible. I mean, obviously it's not as good as Alakazam, but still, that's kind of obvious. And if I recall correctly, the biggest struggle point was definitely Red Snorlax. I can't exactly remember what I did. It might have been Dynamic Punch. I don't 100% remember. You'd have to check my stream. I just don't remember. Anyway, oh wait. I have the root file recording. Let's see if those 6 curses were truly needed. One, 2, 3, 4. Alright, so 4 curses makes the Snorlax and the Blastoise ranges. Yeah, it only needed 5. Going to 6 was completely unnecessary. Oh, I want to take a look at what my hidden power range was on Machamp. 73% chance. So if I removed my held item, it would have been a 23% chance, and cross chop would have been a 50-50 chance of murdering me. He said that in the video. I was speeding through it, okay? Yeah, I think in the end, though, this was worth giving up return for my rule set. But I think looking back at this, I should have replaced Headbutt with Crunch as soon as I got it. It just would have been a better spamming move, especially for Will. But still, not that big a deal. The biggest time save throughout this whole run is just not doing that mess up with Hidden Power. Or like 80-20 because of Mach Punch. True. Basically, we would never... Yeah, we would never survive that cross chop. We would have to get a miss. Alright, everyone. For real, though. The next stream should be... guaranteed... I think there's one guaranteed Thursday. I don't remember. I never made a schedule this week. I'll get back into the habit of making a schedule again for next week. But the next guaranteed stream, for sure, for absolute sure, is going to be Friday. We'll be doing Pokemon Moon with Mew. And, there will be some spoiler warnings. During that stream, before the run starts, we'll talk about the Direct. I'll make sure to like pin a message in the chat that day or something. Or put it in the title. Or just give a warning on stream. But yeah, I'll try to get the Dragonite video out for Friday. I wasn't sure if I wanted to, but I can make videos pretty efficiently. Because even if I'm not on vacation, as long as I have my recorded run before Wednesday, I can spend Wednesday and Thursday editing, which is my normal process. Yeah, it shouldn't be too bad. You plan so much around Mew? Oh man, yeah. That run is going to be very tough to think about, but it should be quite a lot of fun. I can guarantee you we're most likely using Swords Dance Mew. You just get Swords Dance way earlier than Calm Mind. Or actually, technically Work Up.